Consumers hit "object doesn't exist" errors. The listing vanished from the marketplace because the provider changed the secure view definition, breaking the share's binding. Welcome to this deep dive into Snowflake data sharing, listings, and the marketplace. By the end, you'll be able to share live data securely, publish listings, and avoid production pitfalls. Covers what you need. Snowflake Data Sharing provides live, zero-copy data access with no ETL or duplication. The provider creates a share, adds objects, and grants access. Consumers see a read-only database that's always current. A share holds references to databases and schemas. On the consumer side, a consumer DB appears, and secure views are the recommended way to share data. They hide underlying tables and can enforce row-level filters. Here's how to create a share and grant access. First, create the share, then grant usage on the database and schema. Add a secure view, and finally grant access to the consumer's account locator. The consumer imports the share into their account using Create Database from Share. They get a read-only database with no storage cost. Queries run on the provider's compute, but the consumer pays for their own warehouse. The consumer runs Create Database from Share to import. Then they can query the shared view like any other table. The data is always live. Listings wrap a share with metadata like title, description, and pricing. They can be public to all Snowflake users or private to specific accounts. Once published on the marketplace, they become available for consumers to discover and access. To create a listing, you need an existing share. Use Create Listing with the share name, title, description, terms, and status. Set status to Published to make it visible. Start with your base table containing the data to share. Secure views are essential for safe sharing. They hide the SQL definition. For row-level security, create a permissions table mapping accounts to allowed rows, then join it in a secure view. Use current account carefully. It returns the provider's account, so rely on the mapping table instead. Test with different consumers to verify access. Here's a secure view implementing row-level security via current account. The permissions table maps account locators to allowed regions. The view joins and filters using that function. Only grants select on the view, never on base tables. To monetize data, you need a business-critical account and a signed provider agreement. Create a paid listing, which then appears in the marketplace for consumers. Monitor usage for churn. Snowflake handles billing and remits payments after fees. For paid listings, add pricing and price parameters. Snowflake validates the listing and makes it available. Ensure data freshness, like the 1-hour latency here, to retain consumers. In production, as the provider, use secure views, version shares, and monitor usage with account usage. Test changes in a non-production account. Limit privileges to custom roles rather than ACCOUNT80MIN, and set up monitoring for the consumer. Use account usage views to track who's accessing your shares and listings. This helps you monitor adoption and troubleshoot issues. Here's the chain reaction. The provider changed the secure view definition that the share referenced. Snowflake requires share objects to remain unchanged. Altering the view invalidated the listing's binding, causing the object doesn't exist error. The fix was to recreate the share with the updated view and republish the listing. On the consumer success side, they added a CI/CD check to prevent schema changes to shared objects without updating the listing. Always treat shared objects as immutable contracts and use versioned views for evolution. Here's the exact mistake from the incident. Using Create or Replace on a secure view that's part of a share breaks the listing. The fix is to version the view name instead. Here v2 leaves the original share reference intact. Always version your shares or use aliases. Sharing base tables directly, as shown here, exposes all rows and the underlying schema. Instead, creating a secure view restricts access and hides internal details from consumers. Here's a common mistake: granting select on the view but forgetting usage on the database and schema. Adding usage on both resolves the privilege error for the share. When issues arise, start by verifying the share exists and its grants. Check listing status. Test the view directly with a select to ensure it returns data. Time for interview questions. A share is a container for objects. A listing is a published product. Row-level security uses a secure view joining a permissions table with current account. For schema evolution, version your shares. FAQs demystified. Reader accounts allow sharing with non-Snowflake users. Sharing is live and zero copy, unlike replication. If the provider drops an object, consumers get errors. To wrap up, Snowflake Data Sharing enables instant, zero-copy collaboration. Always use secure views. Listings make data discoverable. Monitor usage and version your shares to avoid breaking changes. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at thecodeforge.io.